Hello, everyone. This is Rick with the Cyber Pro podcast. Industry leaders share their insights. It's just 9 minutes or less because hackers never sleep. So let's get to it. Kevin, who are you and what do you do?
Well, my name is Kevin. I work at Coalition, market-leading cyber insurer, and I specifically work on our channel and security partnerships team. And I am specifically focused on building out a new channel within the managed service provider space.
Talk to me a little bit about the managed service provider space and what you guys are looking to do for partnerships, because I think a lot of people in the cyber community forget that partnerships are what drives innovation.
Yep. Our perspective, Coalition, we have nearly 80,000 policyholders across a wide range of industry segments. But when we first went to market with our cyber offering, we started out insuring customers in the $0 to $250 million range. We've obviously gone up market and we can insure customers up to $5 billion in revenue. But we really focus on that SMB mid-market space. And in just, doing research and kind of figuring out other areas where we could, work with different groups in the space, obviously learning a lot about, managed service providers, there's just an inherent overlap in terms of the types of customers that managed service providers work with, and then our policy holders. And so from that, we thought, hey, this could be a unique opportunity to work closer with managed service providers and enable them to monetize and operationalize the process for helping clients acquire cyber insurance.
So this is a really interesting thought process, right? Because you're coming from the insurance side, which I know a lot of people kind of are like, insurance, they kind of take that deep breath and they're like, oh,
Exactly.
God, here we go. Right. So what trends are you seeing in the cyber insurance industry right now?
So from our perspective, we understand that we're kind of operating within a bit of a soft market, but it's now starting to evolve where more and more people are realizing that they need to have cyber insurance. I mean, it's really not if, it's when. And especially within that SMB space, when you look at the cost of ransomware, funds transfer fraud events, other breaches, a lot of people are understanding like, hey, we don't have the financial capacity to withstand one of those breaches. And so from a risk management perspective, we need to get more strategic in protecting ourselves, not only from a risk mitigation standpoint by working with service providers to deploy all the necessary security tools, but also focusing on that transfer of risk and working with a group that can provide that balance sheet protection. And so from our perspective, it's just continuing to educate the end customer around, hey, the process isn't as complicated as you think. We have the tools and the education to provide that clear roadmap to insurability. It's more affordable. And it's really a critical item to have as part of your risk management strategy going into 2024.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm curious to see where you take this. I think it'll be a little bit of what you just said, but also, what do you feel is a critical aspect of a robust cybersecurity strategy for most organizations?
We think that cyber insurance should be part of your overall security investment conversation, separate from your other insurance purchase decisions. And the reason why that is there's just an inherent marriage between the security solutions that you invest in and your cyber policy. Your security tools are going to affect your insurability and your affordability. And then your cyber policy, if adequate, is going to provide protection against, what those tools cannot, protect against. And ID, one of the main avenues for claims that we see now is obviously on the social engineering side. And so from a service provider standpoint, you can be deploying the most robust security stack, making sure, you have 24/7 SOC with MDR, you've air gapped your offline backups, you're implementing security awareness training. There's all these different things. But as we saw with the breach of, with MGM and the casinos, just the way that these threat actors are going about it, to me, what it actually shows is that the security tools are actually working. And so what are the threat actors now doing? They're now relying on human error and kind of going back to the basics and employing these pretty sophisticated social engineering techniques. And, at Coalition, we work, we have some of the most sophisticated cybersecurity employees in the marketplace, but even they'll, get phished. And so from that perspective, we want, in order to protect yourself, holistically and, 100% from a financial perspective, it's, hey, you need to be deploying the necessary risk mitigation strategies, but also you need to have that backstop of that standalone cyber insurance policy that's providing first and third party coverage. And unlike a lot of the other, providers in the marketplace, Coalition is the first, group to actually go to the market with active insurance, where it's not a set it and forget it solution. We think cyber insurance is manageable with the right partnership, but it should not be, hey, we have a cyber policy, now we're going to just put pencils down and revisit it 12 months down the line. You should be actively making sure that you maintain your insurability throughout the policy period, addressing any new vulnerabilities. If any new CVE, zero-day vulnerabilities are coming out, making sure that you attack those correctly. And that's what we're doing here at Coalition.
This is awesome, Kevin. Final and fun question for you. What's your favorite piece of retro technology that makes you smile?
Retro technology that makes me smile. It's a really good question. Fax machines?
Interesting. Why? Obviously the noise itself, but why?
Just, it's kind of interesting when you see the evolution of technology. And when I look back at some very kind of basic way to communicate, when email first came out, people were thinking like, what is email? This is actually something I'm not going to leverage. And just, there's actually a number of policyholders that we work with and groups that we talk to that are still deploying, fax machines and old technologies. And from that perspective, you can understand, humans, they normally don't like stepping outside of their comfort zone. And, that's kind of to me like what the fax machine represents.
Thank you for tuning into the Cyber Pro podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on new podcasts and all of our cool bonus content.